Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Malamed, Shlita. Sof Shavua Noim Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parashas Lech Lecha. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvagan Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Patzua Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, and dedicating our learning to Nishmat Seren Daniel Shemen Rav Doron V'Sheli Hashem Yikum Damo. And just, of course, be mindful that this is now early Shabbos season, so we daven Shachris, go home, have a cup of coffee, and then go back for Shabbos, basically, something like that. No, but here in the Northeast, Shabbos beginning around 4:30 p.m., and wherever you are, hopefully earlier side as well. The next chapter, Tfilas Arvis. What's the Seder? Kosa Rishonim Shenogan Lomar Lifnei Baruch Hu Shlosha Psukim HaPoschim Be'Vehura Chumichaper Avon. We begin before Baruch Hu, even with a few psukim, starting v'hurachum, it's levakesh kapara al avono shechatonu meshach yom, and it's to ask forgiveness and atonement for the sins that we may have committed through the course of the day. Va'od shebelayla midas adin betucha v'nitnu reshus l'mechablon hazik. At nighttime, the attribute of justice is given a little bit more leeway to cause harm or damage to us. V'lechein anu mevakshim v'hurachum michaper avon, and therefore we want to protect ourselves from the evil forces. Take that as you like. Ubi Shabbos Yom Tovin ein omrim v'hurachim, and on Shabbos and Yom Tov we do not say v'hurachim, we just go straight to Baruch Hu. L'minig Sephardim omrim v'fneikem shlosha psukim. According to Sephardic custom, they say 3 psukim, which say Hashem Tzvakos, etc. L'minig Chasidim, they say Shir HaMalos, and l'shnei haminhagim omrim achar kachatzi kaddish. So they say, let's say, an entire chapter of Tehillim, Shir HaMalos, and then it's followed by a half kaddish, and then they say v'acharav hurachim. V'im lamdu l'fnei hatefila. If, let's say, there was learning taking place before davening, ubesiyim halim and amr kaddish al Yisrael, ein tzorach lomer od pam chatzi kaddish lo laharbis b'kadeshim. So, for instance, when we daven mincha and Maariv together, so in between mincha and Maariv, we have a little seder of learning, and when we finish that seder of learning, we say kaddish d'Rabbanan. Now, it's not applicable to us because we don't say that half kaddish before Maariv, but would we say a half kaddish before Maariv? If a kaddish d'Rabbanan was recited, there would be no need to recite that half kaddish since a kaddish d'Rabbanan was already recited. But Amiras Baruch Hu, Poschin as Brachos Kriya Shema, when we say Baruch Hu, that opens up the blessings of Kriya Shema. V'akein osel ledaber achar Baruch Hu kedin emtza haperak. Therefore, once you say Baruch Hu, it's as if you're in the middle of a chapter of Brachos of Kriya Shema and you cannot speak. V'lachein, mishal hispik lomer v'hurachim lefnei Baruch Hu, lo yomer oso achar Baruch Hu, kadesh lo lahafsik be'emtza Brachos Kriya Shema. So therefore, if you walk in and you didn't have a chance yet to say v'hurachim, and you already said Baruch Hu, then you shouldn't recite those psukim of v'hurachim, etc., because it would be considered an interruption. You should just go straight to the brachas of Kriya Shema. L'minag Sephardim ein onen amen achar berachas hachazan. According to Sephardic custom, after the chazan makes any brachas in davening, we don't say amen. Kedei shelo lahafsik be'emtza brachas Kriya Shema, because that you consider that as a hefsek, as an interruption in the blessings of Kriya Shema. V'tov shishaymus habracha im hachazan amat acharav v'kach l'chol hadeos lo yitzuchu lanos amen. And therefore, to obviate this problem, the question of whether or not to answer amen, if you finish the bracha as the same time as the chazan or around the same time, then like any other bracha, if you say at the same time as someone, you don't say amen because we look like you're saying amen to your own bracha. Therefore, it's not required. However, to Ashkenazic custom, we do say amen, and this is not considered an interruption. There's one exception to this. The bracha that's right before Kriya Shema, Ohev Amo Yisrael, we try also not to say amen to that bracha, Kadesh lo lahafsik bein habracha l'Kriya Shema, because we have, not because it's an interruption in the brachas of Kriya Shema, but we don't want to have any interruption between the end of that bracha and the beginning of Kriya Shema. You'll see many people, and I think that's the appropriate custom, and he quotes from many sources here, and this applies, by the way, both in the morning and the evening. When you say Ohev Amo Yisrael, you should finish it together with the chazan and then go straight to Kriya Shema and not answer amen to that bracha, not in the morning and not in the evening, again, because that amen might serve as an interruption because you're making a bracha on the Kriya Shema itself, so to speak. Therefore, you don't want to have any interruption even with an amen. B'siyam birchas hashkivenu, nogan yotzei Sfarad la'nos amen achar birchas atzmam. At the end of the bracha of Ashkivenu, Sephardic custom, they say the bracha Shomer Ma Yisrael Ad Amen. They say amen to their own bracha, because this is the conclusion of the order of blessings. But Ashkenaz custom, we do not say amen after our own blessing. The only time that we do this is in benching. Bonei barachamav Yushalayim, amen. And if you look at the laws of benching, you'll see why we do that there, but that's the only time that we do so. When we finish all the brachas of Kriya Shema, and before we say the Amidah, the Shemona Esrei, the Chazan says a half Kaddish. And after davening, he says a full Kaddish Tiskabel. According to Sephardic custom, or Nusach Sfard, they say the 121st Psalm of Esa Einai, which is followed by a mourner's Kaddish. And then somebody who's saying Kaddish should say Baruch Hu. And the person who says Kaddish, one of them, says the Baruch Hu, and that's to benefit those that perhaps arrived late and missed the Baruch Hu at the beginning. And again, this is Minhag Sefard or Nusach Sfard. And then they say Aleinu, followed by nothing, no Kaddish. However, Minhag Ashkenaz, this is what we are used to. Miyad achar Kaddish tiskabel omer Aleinu l'shabech. We say, finish Shemona Esrei, full Kaddish, Aleinu, v'achar v'omer hayisam Kaddish yasam, and then we say a mourner's Kaddish, v'echad mehem omer Baruch Hu, and one of them says Baruch Hu. Again, this is also speaking Minhag Ashkenaz in Eretz Yisrael. In America, we don't necessarily say the Baruch Hu, only if someone needs it, but it's not set in stone that we say Baruch Hu like it is in Israel. And if there's nobody saying Kaddish, the Chazan should say, the Chazan is the one who's saying Baruch Hu, if there's no mourner. But somebody should always say Kaddish regardless, as we have seen. After Aleinu, there should always be a Kaddish. But meaning, as far as who should say Baruch Hu, if it's the custom, it doesn't have to be the person saying Kaddish, it should be perhaps the Chazan. In any event, these are the order that we have in Maariv, ones that we are used to. But please, I'm wishing everybody a restful, peaceful Shabbos, nice long Friday night. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvaganei Yisrael, for Shlem L'chol Petzui Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, at Lili Nishmas, Seren Daniel Shimon ben Rav Durma Sheli Shem Kum Domo. Thank you so much for listening this week, and we will see you here next week, Mitzvah Hashem, Bli Neder, Shabbat Shalom.